Okay folks, today we're testing this 1968 Camaro factory AM/FM radio. This is the real deal. It's an awesome original radio. You see the model number is 7303241. This shows that this radio was made specifically for the 68 Camaro. Now, 68 Firebird used a very similar radio. In fact, really the only difference was the knobs, and then the background back here behind the lens was like kind of a darkish green-blue color instead of black. Other than that, the 68 Firebird radio is the same. The 67 Camaro and Firebird radio is also very similar. Those two cars use the same radio, and the difference between those radios is internally. Mainly this rear plug here is specific for either 68 or 67 or 68 model years, so the plug itself is different, and the radios will both work fine with that plug intact. But if you want to use the multiplex stereo adapter, then you need to have the correct 67 model one for a 67 radio, and then for this example you would need the correct 68 model one if you want to use that stereo adapter. But besides that, if you want to use this radio as it is, as a mono radio, you could use it in either a 67 or 68 application and it will be right at home. Anyway, we're going to test this today. We have it hooked up to a 12 volt powered source, the correct 8 ohm speaker, and an antenna. And that's all it takes to test this guy. Before we get started, I have the AM set up to the first station that I pick up here at my house. It's not the fault of the radio, but everything about here down on the dial, I just don't get good reception here where I live. I live pretty deep in a valley, and the AM signals just don't come in that low. Anyway, we're going to test it out, and yeah. So you see, hopefully you can see the dial light. So lights off, lights on. Very sweet. You can see it not only has the AM/FM indicator on the dash or on the lens, but also deeper in the radio. And when I switch it to FM, you'll see that that also changes to FM. So here we are on AM. No static in between the stations, as you can see.
Well, do you want to go away as well?
Comes in.
Simon Peter,
when you adjust the volume,
whom shall we go? You
there's no static or crackling.
Believed and have come.
There's a demand for product, and record companies needed to supply that demand.
And the immorality.
Anyway, real nice reception, real nice sound.
Suspect?
Okay, and we'll switch over to FM now. So you see the indicator in there that says AM. Now it's FM. Pretty sweet. We'll start all the way at the end of the dial. I guess that was the first station.
What? Baby got ballet. Open. We don't buy no drinks at the bar. Make sure that you don't need no man.
Speaking of Jesse Kelly, host of I'm Right With...
Una demanda falsa es un crimen, patrocinado por Pay.
National Onion Rings Day. Onion rings, my favorite.
Stars you hide. And hey, if your wings are broken, please take till I make my getaway.
Sin trabajo.
COVID-19 treatment is available for everyone.
Anyway, awesome reception, awesome
Just
sound.
floating on this self-important cloud.
Okay, that's all the way down. Okay, I'll show you all of the push buttons work here. Maybe. So I have them set above each individual push button right now. Finally, I'll show you how to set one. We'll find a station we like. Say we like this station. Pull out whatever button you want. Push it all the way back in. Then no matter where we go on the dial, go right back to where we were. Anyway, a beautiful factory AM/FM radio. It's got the decal intact. You'll see more in the pictures, but the case is super clean. It appears to have the original transistor here. It is dated the 20th week of 1968. I mean, they really don't get any nicer than this, folks. This thing is beautiful. It's complete with the inner and outer knobs, as you'll be able to see more in the picture, but the original bezel is here. The bezel even has the GM part number on the back. I mean, just, you couldn't ask for a nicer original radio, really. So if you've been looking for one, don't miss this true 1968 Camaro AM/FM.